in your job and in your life as an emergency room physician, you see that life is so precious, and you've probably seen people that unfortunately haven't made it and some that have, and you see their families. How do you apply this statement of life, and you said it, to your life? I mean, to your own life. I don't know if I'm saying this right. How does the statement life apply to what you put into your work and some of the subjects that you tackle? Because I know you said that you don't want to necessarily always do a documentary about things that are very powerful to you. You'd rather show a story, a narrative, because you feel that people can accept it in a different way if they see it portrayed with actors, or maybe I'm inserting words.
Life is the most precious thing there is on this planet, period, So, and it's also limited. We all know that. We know there's a beginning and there's an end. So, during that duration, it is important for me because, like you said, Karen, I have seen the extremes of life and death situations, every day while in my practice, that when it comes to the creative field, I need to not only, first of all, engage people's minds and hearts, because if I'm taking their time for an hour or for 2 hours in a film and having them sit and watch, I need to keep their mind completely engaged. So in my experience, through my years, I've seen that fiction seems to pull in more audiences than documentaries do, at least in my experience. So that is where my concept of creating, including me, if I had the option of watching a very acclaimed fictional narrative film versus a documentary, and I had that 2 hours time, I would naturally gravitate to the fictional film first, because that's how our brains are kind of wired to work. Unless you are a documentary filmmaker, unless you are in that niche of, just that is your passion, only then. But I want to hit the entire world's audience, with my films. So, but I also want to deliver awareness. I want to deliver hope with my films, and I want to deliver entertainment, because if they're going to come there and sit there, I don't want them walking out feeling heavier and sadder and more bogged down than they did when they walked in, So how do I do all of that together? That's how I decided to make films where I sit with my team and I create a very entertaining storyline with drama, with romance, with emotions, with dance, with music, which is of course my childhood base, and also the fact that from India, the talent is outstanding. I mean, I can say this without doubt that the artistic talent that comes from India is the best in the world. Only thing is, it may not be the most exposed in the world because they all don't have platforms. There are, in villages, in cities, in small towns, you see children with the sense of rhythm, of precision, of discipline, of body control, all that in dance, music, chanting, learning, which is, to me, it boggles my mind. And do you think all of them can ever put it out into the world to show their talent? They are not able to. So in my minimal way, that was another thing that I was thinking of. I was thinking, okay, if I can create a medium, and that too cinema being one of the most prolific mediums out there, which reaches the whole world, if I can create a medium where I have the entertaining storyline, where I have incredible music and dance, and which is also becoming very popular in the West. People are loving the Bollywood feel, the Indian feel of, the colors, the vibrance, all of that, and bring in very important public awareness messages in there, and put it somehow that it hits with an impact, and people love it. When they love it, they're going to go tell other people, and they're going to come and watch. So that was my goal. So with my first film, which was Jojo Lali, a heart-wrenching lullaby, we created a very small budget experiment. It was a 40-minute film on HIV/AIDS awareness, and we made it about the vertical transmission of HIV from mother to child, which is very much, people are aware, but it is not much spoken about, not much known. So we took that subject and made the story, and it was a brilliant success. It won 13 awards in Indian film festivals, and then it was played in Dubai and Brazil and across the US, in Atlanta, in Boston, and the pediatric AIDS conferences, in all of these places, and we had a Tucson premiere recently. So it's just marching across, it's still marching. It's 4.5 years old, but it's still marching across. People asking for it, wanting screenings, and they come out crying. And it's not tears of, oh, I had the most boring time of my life, or it bogged me down. It was that inspired thing of saying, we need to do something. We need to help this cause. We need to take this film everywhere. And we loved it, So that first experiment made me feel, okay, I'm in the right path. I'm doing something correctly. So that's how the first one came about. And from there, we are moving on. I can speak all day about the next film and the next film, but